Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do a build in Selvadorada, which is actually a vacation world in The Sims. But since EA uh, released the Desert Luxe kit for free to anybody who owns the Sims 4 base game, um, I don't know. I thought it would be it would go really well in this world. Um, I originally was gonna build an Oasis Springs because, Desert Lux, desert world. But I don't know. I never really play in Selvadorada, and I just figured because the kit was all neutral colors and like tans and browns, and I just thought it would fit really well in this world, and I was just feeling it, and I wanted to build a vacation home for some reason. So, that's what I did. Um, I did actually have a picture that I found on Google that I kind of referenced off of. If I remember, I will try to add it here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, the picture it looked like a kind of a hut on top of a pond or lake. I don't really know, but it was on water, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. But I'm terrible at the water tool or the pond tool in The Sims. So, I mean, it was giving me a really hard time. It took me a few tries, but I finally got it to kind of work. And I don't know, I think it came out really cute. But as you can see here from the build, that it's starting to kind of look like a hut, which is kind of the theme I was going for, because that's what the picture looked like. But it wasn't that great of a picture to go off of, so I kind of had to just make up a lot of things on my own, um, because you couldn't see the inside, and it was hard to tell how the outside looks in parts of it. So I don't know. I think I got it somewhat close-ish, but it might not look exactly the same. But anyway, um, yeah, that this inside, it wasn't a big build. This is only like a 20 by 15 lot, I think. So I didn't have that much space to work with. So that one square room is going to end up being like the bedroom and the bathroom and the kitchen. And then that open area to the right is going to be like the living area, and then you'll have the outdoors. But I actually forgot to film me doing the bathroom. I recorded everything and went to go take my screenshots, and then realized I did not finish and I did not do the bathroom. So you won't see the bathroom actually get built in here, but you'll see it in the screenshot. So it's not really a big deal. It's just the bathroom. I'm not worried about it. But here I'm just doing the landscaping on the outside. I wanted it to have a lot of greenery and like I use a lot of the jungle adventure items because I wanted it to have a cohesive feeling to the world around it, and so I tried to use a lot of the plants that I saw around and some of the trees and stuff. And you'll see later on I add a bunch of rocks around the outside, but when we get there, but yeah, I didn't want the inside or the building to be too colorful, but I definitely wanted the outside to have some color to it. So I added some red flowers and stuff like that because I wanted it to be colorful on the outside and more neutral on the inside. But here I'm just adding, like I said, those rocks. I believe they're debug rocks, but I could be wrong. I was trying to find things in debug, and I don't know, having trouble with my game, so they may or may not be debug. I don't even know. But yeah, so I just put those around the edges because there wasn't much space. I was already on the edge of the build, so I was trying to figure out what I could put in that just to fill it in, and I thought rocks would look really good. So I just put them all around the outside. But again, I only had so much space, so I had to put them down and then kind of like go inside the build and push them back out to get them to fit a little bit off the edge because you know you only have so much on the lot. But But yeah, I added some with some moss and stuff because, like, again, I wanted the outside to have a little bit of greenery. And here you can see I'm adding some plants on top of the rocks because I wanted it to look, a little overgrown, and I didn't want it to just be like rocks in your face, So I figured if I added some plants, it would just kind of make it pop a little bit better. But later in a little bit, you'll see me. I end up putting like these vines, which again could be debug or not, but they're like these tree vines I put around the end of the building because I figured you're not really going to see that side of the building much when you're playing it, but I didn't want it to look plain and like just just the siding or whatever. So I thought I would make it look a little overgrown. So here you can see I have the vines that I'm adding. I just thought they were really cool and they just kind of added to like the jungle theme I was going for, and they gave that little bit of pop of color. And then I just did these hanging vines because, like I said, I was going for a jungly, overgrown, like, I mean, the building's well kept, but, in a jungle, the outside gets a little crazy. So, I figured the inside's nice and clean, and then the outside, looks more cohesive to the world around it. But then again, I here I added some flowers. You can see I wanted to add that little bit of color, so I just added some flowers and stuff that had colors in it because the inside, like I said, I think the bathroom you'll see in the screenshots, that's like the only part of this build, I believe, that has any color in it. I think there's some blue in the bathroom. But again, the rest of the house is like browns and tans, and it's just very neutral because, like I said, I was trying to make it cohesive with the Desert Luxe kit since that was the whole reason why I was doing this build. But this front walkway, you'll see me build something right here. In the picture that I was trying to reference, it had like this really cool leaf canopy type thing to it, but there was nothing I could find. Like I couldn't figure out how to get that in the game, so I thought, oh, I'll use these glass walkway things from Island Living, which again I used a lot of Jungle Adventure, Island Living, and I think base game. I tried not to use too many packs. I tried to limit it, and of course the Desert Luxe kit, but I might have used a couple other packs. I'm sorry, I can't really remember. I think I used some of the outdoor retreat or outdoor that backyard one. I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, but see, like I couldn't get it, so I decided to do the glass walkway on the actual walking path of it because it was glitching on the roof and I just didn't like the way it looked, so I moved it to the floor and I thought it was really cool because then you can see underneath the pond, and I added like a lot of fish and like tadpoles and all that kind of stuff from the pond thing. So I thought it would be really cool. You could look down and see all that. I think I added one of those like alligators, crocodiles. I don't know which one it is in this game, but I added one of those because I thought, oh, it's cool. You walk over that and you see all the stuff swimming under your feet. So I just added that there. And then later on in the build, you'll see that I end up putting more overgrowth and vines and all that kind of stuff on the top of the walkway because it was bothering me how the roof was kind of like hitting the edge and the way it looked. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could cover it, and I just used like moss and stuff to make it look overgrown like I did in the back, again to add more color. But yeah, this window I wanted to add to the back because I kept forgetting about, like, I knew I wanted to use the kit, but I kept forgetting to go in there and look at the kit items. And then I realized I forgot this window, and I thought, oh, I could just add that to the back. It's kind of cool. It kind of gives you like a view of the back. But yeah, that opening, that little thing room right there is going to be the bathroom. But like I said, you're not going to see it in this build because I forgot to record it. Anyway, now we're getting to the inside. I like I said, this is like the bedroom kitchen area, so I just put a half wall up there, and I figured it just divided the bedroom to give it its own privacy. But it was enough separation. But it's one big room, so there wasn't much I could do with it. And again, it was a small lot, so and I was having issues trying to like decorate the bedroom because it was so small. You see a dresser down there. It ends up getting deleted. I thought I was gonna put it out in the other room, so you'll see me move it. But then I realized that's where I wanted the kitchen. So there's no dresser in this build, But I mean, you could just change your Sims clothes by clicking on them anyway, so I figured it really wasn't a big deal not to have a dresser. But that mirror from the Jungle Adventure kit I had to add because I love that mirror, so that stayed. But yeah, it's such a tight little bedroom area, and I figured you're really probably only gonna have two Sims at most staying here. I mean, if you want a family to stay, you would have to pick a bigger lot, unfortunately. But in my mind, this build was for like just a couple or a single Sim, so that's why it was a small build. But I gave a double bed because I figured in case it is a couple, at least you'll have enough space for two. Um, but yeah, I just added, like I said, a lot of neutral colors, and I use a lot of Jungle Adventures, like the bed. The side tables are from the Desert Luxe kit, actually. The lamps are from Jungle Adventure. So, I tried to just limit myself to those kits because, again, they had those colors in them. Um, and here I added this chair is from the Desert Luxe kit, and that little stool is from the Jungle Adventures. I don't know if that's right, if I'm saying that kit name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But I just figured that was a cute little corner because I couldn't figure out what to put there, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna make it like a little dressing corner, like like get dressed, look in the mirror. I don't know. That's just what was in my head, but yeah. So I was just trying to fill in areas and come up with ideas. But now we're on to the kitchen part of it. I couldn't figure out how I wanted the kitchen to be, and I started putting it against these walls, and I was like, that's just too separated. Like, it wasn't going to work. So then I was like, you know what? It won't, like, I'm going to put it against this wall, the divider wall, because I know it's against the bedroom, which is a little weird, but it's a vacation rental. So it's not like your house. So I was like, well, that's not like too weird if it's your vacation rental and it's separated by a wall. So, and I just figured that was like the best fit for the kitchen. Um, and I did actually have a sim come in and play test it because I was doing screenshots and I wanted it in live mode. And everything's functional. So, it's not too tight. You can get to everything. But but yeah, I just figured this kitchen against this wall just looked the best. And again, I didn't like clutter it too much because I figured, it's not a family home. Your Sims aren't living here, so I didn't want it to like look lived in too much because I'm sure multiple Sims are going to be living or using this rental, so I didn't add too much clutter to this build, but like my other ones, but I figured that was alright if it was a rental. But yeah, here in the kitchen, I was trying to figure out like how to fill the walls and make them look good. And I upped the half wall a little bit to fit these cabinets in because I figured you still have that like it's not a full wall, but it's enough to just kind of hide it and be able to hang the cabinets on it. But I also wanted to add one of those stove like the vents, and I didn't like the way it looked on its own without something over it. So I kind of like you'll see I buried into the cabinets a little bit because it just kind of like tied it in a little better. But I don't usually like those when they're just kind of sitting on their own. But yeah, here I'm just adding a couple little clutter things that I figured you would find in maybe like a rental thing, like the normal things. But yeah, like I didn't want to go too crazy. Again, I tried to add like all the colors in the kitchen. You'll see like browns and yellows and all that. But I added this little island too because I figured you'll see me add a little dining table and chairs in the corner at one point, but I deleted it because it was so tight in here that there was no way I was going to fit a dining area. So I figured this little island was enough seating, especially like I said, if you're only having one or two Sims in here. There's like 3 seats on there, so there's plenty of space for enough Sims to sit. But like here, like you'll see, like I'm trying to fit a table and chairs, and I was like, this is too tight. Like your Sims are never gonna be able to move through here, so I just scrapped that idea. And I was like, the island's enough seating. Plus, you'll see outside, you'll have the living room couch and outdoor seating and eating. So I mean, there was plenty of space for your Sims to just kind of like sit and hang out. So I felt like a dining area was just it wasn't useful for this space because it's such a small build. You can only fit so much. But here we're moving on to the living area. That fireplace is actually from the Desert Luxe kit. So is this couch. Like I said, I used everything from that kit. I used some of it multiple times, like the doors and some of the chairs and stuff, but like I was trying to tie it in, but like the colors just went so well with all the other like the jungle colors and all that that I don't know, it just looks really I thought the color scheme just really worked. But again, this was such a tight space. I ended up like spreading this room out and adding it, like building it a little bigger and making the deck part a little smaller because I couldn't fit the couch or anything because it was so tight. So I had to expand it to get that couch to fit. But this is where you'll see me put those little vines hanging on the walkway. I just hung these up on the sides and then I just put some like greenery on the top. Like I said, just to blend it a little bit more, just to kind of like separate it from the roof because I just felt like it was just so it looked weird without something on it. So I figured that just kind of like mixed it in together and it looked good. Now we're on to the deck. I jump around a little bit here because I was having such a hard time trying to figure out this furniture. I cut a lot of it out because I just couldn't figure out how I wanted to place this furniture and get it all in the build because I wanted to use every piece from the Desert Luxe kit. So then I ended up here. I expanded the deck out a little further here and made the pond a little smaller because I figured I could use these couches out front as like another little sitting area if your Sims would just kind of hang out or whatever. And then the side deck could just be like their lounge area where they can sunbathe and they could grill. The grill's also from the kit. So yeah, I just figured like the side part could be like the more hangout spot and the front could be like the relaxing sitting spot where they go and have their morning coffee or whatever, you know? So, but I really, really wanted to get all the furniture and use all the items from the kit in this. And it was just such a small space that it took me a while to figure out the placement of everything. But in the end, it worked. And I think it came out really cute. Like I said, I tried to limit my packs, but those little barbecue sets and this little utensil thing you'll see in a little bit, that's from the backyard, whatever it's called kit, like the backyard. Oh, God, I forget the name. But yeah, those two items are from that just because they fit with the little barbecue. And so if you don't have those kits, those will be like pretty much the only items you won't see. That and those pillars there, those posts, the wooden posts, I believe those are the outdoor retreat posts because I wanted it to look more wooden and fit the theme, and I couldn't find ones that really fit other than those, so I had to use the ones from Outdoor Retreat just to kind of make it blend. So again, I used a little bit of Outdoor Retreat and a little bit of that backyard one, um, but those are probably things easy enough you can change if you don't have those packs. But yeah, here I wasn't gonna add a TV, but then I was like, you know what, it'll look really cool over the fireplace. So I'll add a TV with some like little like knickknacks or I don't know treasures or something that they find. So I put those on top of the mantle. But I was trying to size down those other TVs, but when you size them down, there's like a little light um that doesn't size with them. I didn't realize, so I couldn't size those down. So I had to use this one because I didn't want it sitting on the mantle. I wanted it hanging, like I said, so I could put I put like little artifacts and just some cool things that like I guess you could find in um, the jungle pack. I keep calling it Jungle Adventure. I'm probably completely wrong, but the jungle whatever this the jungle pack. But like the little artifacts, like that little rock, and then I added like some like little talismans and a little doll and stuff. Cause I figured I don't know maybe your sim went out and they like went on an archaeological dig and they found these things. I don't know. And then I did add this like archaeology uh what do you call it? Archaeology stand. I can't think of the word, but I thought like I needed some sort of uh like skill building item in this build. Um I don't know. I just figured like because you're in Selvadorada, if your Sims do go out and they dig for items and they end up finding them, you're going to bring them back here and you could just use the archaeology table and use that to find out what you found. So I just figured it went with the theme of the build. So I just added like one skill building thing and I thought that was like perfect to fit in. But yeah, now we're just getting to the end. I'm just adding some more like decor items and stuff just to fill in spots. I end up changing this table, you'll see, because again, um, I end up realizing I forgot to use the shelf unit from the kit, which I was like, oh no. So I was like, where can I put that? And then I was like, oh, I'll just swap it out for that table. So I do that, but that little plant there, I like to use that little trick. I get like a little vase that I find, and then I find like a plant that I could just sit in it. So it just like adds it, makes it a little bit more colorful. But yeah, here you'll see I forgot to use the shelf in the build, so I do that. And like I said, I just put the plant inside the vase. But yeah, we're getting to the end. You'll just see there's just some more like decor items that I end up adding to this build. These lights came with the Desert Luxe kit, which I completely forgot about too. So I just ended up adding these to the walkway out front just to add some lighting. Um, you'll see I change it to the night view um, just to test it out to see how the lighting goes. But yeah, now we're just adding some, lighting and stuff to just brighten up the outside. But I just thought those lanterns would look really cute on the little chairs, but I didn't want any like hanging lights on the actual building, so I just added these like little standing little lanterns around the edge just to put some lighting in. But yeah, we're getting to the end of the build now. So, oh, again, I apologize if you don't have the city living pack, but I did end up adding these little floating lanterns because they were so cute and they added lighting. But yeah, we're at the end. So thanks, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.